you started, what was the promotion game like? How did you start out? What was your packages like?
Okay, I tell you, it's just the same thing I'm talking to you about working together. Back in the day, I'm gonna take say Cash Money. I'm gonna take Cash Money for instance.
Which is a group that you did work with and help get signed.
Exactly.
If you don't know Cash Money, they signed their first deal. What was it? 30 million.
100 million.
100 million through Universal. So that's a pivotal part in hip hop history. Period. Nobody had really a deal like that before, right?
Exactly.
And the
They
splits was crazy too.
Yes, and the thing is that when people tell you 100 million, that might be over 5 year period and so many albums. You understand? It ain't like somebody gave them $100 million. Okay, so that's what artists have to understand. Just because you sign a contract doesn't mean that you going. It's just like football and baseball. That's over a time period, and you got to be able to deliver. You understand what I'm saying? So just I'm gonna use them for instance. They would pay us J. Jones Entertainment $5,000 a month. But the difference is in what they did and what these Cincinnati artists would do. They would pay the 5,000, and we would have them go from all the way from New Orleans, travel city to state to city to state, all throughout, coming all the way up here, and they would go to all the different record stores. They went to performances. They would get performances because they came, and that's how they made their side money. You understand what I'm saying? So it might be 30 people on that tour bus. It's only 12 passengers, but it's 30 people on that tour bus. And when they came,
Smell like a crab boy.
you feel
Straight
me?
from New Orleans.
And the thing is everybody who got off that tour bus, they helped putting up flyers, put posters, and it just looked like they was hungry. If you could get a Cincinnati artist, now I'll tell you one that did, and that was Taka. Garnet Entertainment, they took Taka on the road. I actually went on the road with them. And it might be 30 people on that tour bus, but when they got off that bus, they was working. They was working. And Al Garnett, he would pay for their room and board, per diem, food, everything. So today, I would tell any artist they need to take it back in the day. They need to get a tour bus and team up. If you can't afford it by yourself, team up with two or three different groups and get on this bus and let's go tour. It's still record stores that's open. Just like you got Everybody's Records here and Shake It Records right up the street. There are still record stores, mom and pops, open throughout the country. And you can still go there and promote yourself and get yourself known.
Tell us more about what it was like working with Cash Money.
It was easy because they would help us. It wasn't like they just paid us and didn't do nothing. That's what I'm saying. They actually worked with us. And it was fun.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was fun. When I tell you we could go in the club and it'd be so many of us coming in the club, the security guard didn't know where to stop the line.
Yeah.
You know
What was Birdman like back then? Did he do this?
All the time.
You know,
All the time. And he was cool. And I mean, he took care of everything. I tell you, Turk and Wayne probably was 12 and 13 years old. That's how young they was on the road. And then Wayne didn't have all them tattoos. I had some pictures of him on my Facebook page
We got to get some
without them tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really fun back in the day. Twister.
Twist.
I love Twister. And that's one of the first records I ever promoted. Was that Do or Die, Po Pimpin'. And that's how I did it. The guy, Big Fub, Reginald McKinley, he was running Twister's label. And he sent that in there to Art Distributing. And he called me on the phone. He said, hey, you be doing some promotion around there into the stores, talking to the stores, right? I said, yep. I said, I just tell them, what to buy and what's what's popping right now. He said, I'm gonna send you some promos. So he sent me a box of promotional stuff, and I will put it in the mailbox for every store throughout the whole Midwest, because they would actually get their music from us. And you know, a lot of the stores at that time, some were mostly white owned.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, like black guys were starting to convert from street to business, then they would open record stores all across the United States. So even like if you watching BMF, you seen Meech and them had a record store.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm telling you. The biggest street guys own record stores. And that's how they, you know, basically cleaned their money.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you gotta clean that money up, man. You
I
gotta
don't
wash
know
it
what
up.
to say on here. You know, this ain't national TV, but
Yeah, we ain't
If
name
I-
no names, man.
if I could keep it real, I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
No, don't do that, man. We ain't gonna blab you here, man. We're gonna show you.
Exactly.
Let's tell a story about Johnson & Johnson or something like that.
Yeah, let's
Rockefeller.
start that.
How Rockefeller was selling snake oil, man. Let's talk about that.
You know?
Corrupt past. That's crazy, man. So you working this record? How would they hear about you? Because it sound like
Well, see, the stores. Okay, so say you're an artist, Twister and Do or Die. They go into the record stores in Chicago. Well, where you buy your music from? And they say Art Distributed in Cincinnati. And then they just start calling me because when I started there, I was just an order puller. But I was going to school for radio, television, and film. So they started making me get on the phone and sell the music to the black stores because they didn't know what to sell to them black stores. So when I get on the phone, I don't listen to everything while I'm pulling orders. I got headphones on and I'm listening. I'm opening CDs and listening to them.
yeah.
Well, at that time it was mostly cassettes, to be honest with you. And I had a Walkman.
I remember that.
I graduated to a Discman eventually, but
I used to hate walking to the bus in the morning with a disc man, especially
Yeah,
if the
'cause
bus
it
was
starts
putting on
skipping.
hit, hop, hit, hop, hop, hit, hop, hit.
exactly.
Skip it all around.
So they would send me promotional stuff.
Yeah.
The artists would, after they talk to the store, see who they buy from, then they would call me and they send promotional stuff. And it might be $100 bill in there, and you might be 50 in there in the box. And I started making money. I said, shoot, I'm going to start my business, you know. And the receivers say, hey, what are you doing? You got people sending money in here.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it. It just happened.
Wasn't no cash app.
Hey, but it was cash in the mail.
Yeah. That's crazy.
A lot of stuff used to come in the mail.
You about to tell on yourself?
I ain't saying nothing. No, I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about. Hey. Oh man, I don't want to be the reason you go to jail, Miss Judy, man.
I ain't
Please don't.
saying nothing. I'm just saying it used to be fun back then.
Yeah.